What happens when love chooses silence over spotlight? In a world where every whisper becomes a headline, Dara and Jung made the most unexpected move, quietly registering their marriage. Far from the cameras. Far from the noise. No grand ceremony, no flashing lights, just two hearts, one promise. And a pen stroke that changed everything. Why did they keep it hidden? What's the real story behind this secret union? Tonight, Red Carpet Revealed takes you beyond the rumors. Cover the truth behind a love story written in silence. The world found out on a Wednesday morning that love had been hiding in plain sight. A quiet document, buried in a provincial registry office. Carried two familiar names, Hannah, known to millions as Hannah, and Lee Ji-won, the actor whose calm eyes had graced every major drama of the past decade. No announcement, no ceremony. No stylist-approved photographs, only a clerk's signature and a date. By noon, the internet was burning. By evening, both of them had vanished from sight. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. At least, not according to the industry's script. Celebrities marry beneath chandeliers. Not under fluorescent government lights. They hire photographers, not notaries. Yet, as Red Carpet Revealed quickly learned, this story had never followed anyone's script but their own. When the first rumor surfaced, a blurry shot of two figures leaving a registry in Seongbuk-dong, fans dismissed it as lookalikes. The woman's hair was shorter. Plain, the man wore a mask and cap. But a careful observer noticed the way he reached for her hand before crossing the street. Thumb tracing her wrist as though it were habit. Within hours, insiders confirmed the impossible. The nation's eternal sweetheart and its most private leading man had quietly become husband and wife. Their agencies issued synchronized statements at sunset. Yes, the two have registered their marriage privately. They ask for understanding as they begin this chapter quietly and sincerely. No details, no apologies. Yet, between those lines, an entire novel began to unfold. For Red Carpet Revealed. The question was simple, why silence? The answer, as always, hid in the years before the paperwork. They met 5 years earlier on the set of Summer Echoes. A drama that paired her musical warmth with his restrained melancholy. The chemistry was instantaneous but unspoken. Colleagues noticed how she laughed differently around him, smaller, genuine. He, usually aloof, lingered between takes, adjusting her mic even when crew members stood ready. Series ended. They promised to stay friends. Then the world moved on. And so did the headlines. Yet friendship can be a patient conspirator. A year later, when Hannah's group disbanded and the spotlight dimmed, Ji-won sent flowers with a note that read, "Silence isn't the end. It's space to breathe." She kept that card taped inside her journal. Years later, it would resurface in a photograph leaked by accident, sparking the first whisper that their paths had crossed again. According to one stylist who worked with Hannah during her solo comeback, the singer's demeanor changed that year. "Stop checking social media comments," the stylist told us. "She started humming again while getting her hair done. We didn't know then. She was already living two lives, one for us, one for herself." The private life remained a ghost until the pandemic. When Ji-won volunteered at a community kitchen under an alias, Hannah appeared there one weekend, filming a documentary on quiet acts of kindness. Volunteers remember them working side by side for hours. Sleeves rolled, masks on. Changing few words but moving in perfect rhythm. One recalled, "You could feel something gentle between them, like they were speaking through silence." From that day, their worlds intertwined in secret. Used handwritten letters delivered through managers, avoided texting. Never met in crowded places. Work forced them abroad. They left clues only the other could read, a photo of a sky at 7:07 p.m. The hour they first met. The outside world. These were coincidences, to them, they were vows. Fame has a way of sniffing out warmth. Last year, gossip pages hinted that a veteran idol and an A-list actor had been spotted sharing dinner in a quiet Kyoto alley. Both agencies denied. A waiter there remembers a woman who bowed twice before leaving. Spring in Korean. "Thank you for not recognizing us." By early spring this year, he'd grown tired of pretending. According to a close friend, one proposed not with a ring but a question. "Can we keep choosing each other when it's inconvenient?" She answered by sliding her coffee cup toward him and saying, "Then let's start with paperwork." That paperwork, a single sheet stamped in black ink, became the spark heard around the world. As reporters flooded the quiet Seongbuk registry, clerk on duty described them softly. They looked nervous but happy, he said. They joked about writing their stage names by accident. She laughed first. He covered his mouth like he always does on TV. When asked if there were cameras, the clerk shook his head. They came alone. By afternoon, the leak reached social media. Within minutes, the words Hana Ji-won marriage dominated every platform. Fans oscillated between disbelief and tears. Older viewers applauded the discretion. The industry, however, panicked. Endorsement managers called emergency meetings. Producers reviewed contracts for morality clauses. But as the hysteria swelled, stars stayed silent, neither denying nor celebrating. They simply disappeared. Rumor placed them in Jeju, then in Switzerland. Nowhere at all. When a reporter asked Hannah's younger brother for comment, he smiled awkwardly and said, "They wanted something real. Real things don't need an audience." That quote went viral, turning public anger into admiration. Meanwhile, red carpet revealed tracked the timeline through witnesses. A neighbor of Ji-won's mother recalled seeing him deliver a small white box a week before the registry date. She later told a friend, "Were two matching pens engraved with the phrase, 'To write quietly together.' No rings, no diamonds, just ink." By the fifth day after the news broke, his fan cafe released a statement of support. Waited for her happiness longer than any album. She finally released it. That post collected 500,000 likes in under an hour. Still, questions remained unanswered. Did they marry out of love or fatigue? Was this retreat from celebrity life permanent? A film insider offered perspective. Ji-won always said he wanted his last big headline to be peaceful. Maybe this was it. As the frenzy subsided, both agencies promised an update when the time feels right. But even without confirmation, the world seemed to understand. In an era obsessed with spectacle, two people had chosen simplicity, and somehow, that felt revolutionary. When we finally received word from a trusted source that the couple were resting in a seaside guest house south of Busan, we didn't send paparazzi. Instead, we sent a letter requesting an interview, not for scandal, but for understanding. A week later, a handwritten reply arrived. Some stories begin when they end. Thank you for letting ours stay quiet for a little longer. That note in the newsroom. It reminded us that not every revelation needs noise. Closes, Hannah and Ji-won's world remains sealed in calm. The city has moved on. But their silence continues to hum beneath the headlines, a melody only they can hear. And as we prepare for the second half of this investigation, the question remains. How long can love stay quiet before it becomes the loudest thing of all? Months have passed since the morning the registry clerk unknowingly altered the course of two public lives. The storm that once roared around Hannah and Ji-won has faded to a whisper. Seoul's billboards have replaced their faces with new stars. But sometimes, on soft rain days, still mention that couple who married without cameras. Now live near the coast, in a small house surrounded by hydrangeas. To the neighbors they are simply Mr. and Mrs. Lee. A polite pair who take long walks at dusk and bring sweet potatoes to the elderly woman next door. No stylists. No stage lights, just two people learning how to exist quietly together. Once a month, Hannah travels to the city to record music again. Her new single, Stillness, begins with a sound of waves and ends with a lyric. It's taught me how to sing. It debuts without promotion yet finds millions of listeners who say it feels like breathing. Ji-won, meanwhile, has turned to directing. His upcoming film follows two strangers who communicate only through letters. It's not about us, he tells a journalist during a rare interview. But maybe it carries a little of what we've learned. The entertainment world has changed since their decision. Their idols cite them as proof that love need not be hidden to survive. Agencies have started rewriting contracts, putting clauses that punish honesty. Even the most skeptical tabloids admit that sometimes the quietest acts are the most revolutionary. One evening, as twilight bleeds over the sea, Hannah asks him, "Do you ever miss the noise?" Ji-won laughs softly. "Sometimes. Only because it reminds me of what peace sounds like." Clink glasses of barley tea. The air filled with the scent of rain. Somewhere far away, another headline is being written, but this one no longer belongs to them. Red Carpet revealed ends its chronicle not with scandal, but with gratitude. In a world addicted to spectacle, and Ji-won chose sincerity, and in doing so, reminded us that true love doesn't demand applause. He asks to be real. And so, their story closes as it began. In silence. Hand in hand. Skip.